100 episodes, 100 moments where the invisible became visible. Today, we don't just look at one family or one client. We look at the world soul. We explore how your personal healing is a ripple in a global ocean of reconciliation.
We celebrate the journey from our first promise to be truthful about what we can and cannot do to the deep exploration of the cost of rejection. Today, we honor the millions of ancestors standing behind our listeners. This is the tribute to the courage it takes to look at the truth and a celebration of the love that remains when the drama is stripped away.
Welcome to the 100th episode of Younique Yet Connected. Our birthday month episode, we are celebrating 4 years recording the Younique Yet Connected podcast. And we have so many people to thank, you, our dear listener, and That Guy Productions family. What is also beautiful is that South Africa is celebrating Women's Month, a legacy of women from all races standing together, marching against the apartheid government's oppressive pass laws, which were designed to restrict the movement of Black women. I'm Nolitha Xozwa Fenton, iTolokazi, the explorer of the unseen, the unheard and the untold, the space holder, seeker, and sacred witness in the work of systemic family constellations. As always, I'm not alone. Kinga and Nick on the other side of the virtual. Over to you, Kings.
Thank you, Noli. Hello, dear listeners and co-editors. Hello, Nick. This is where we explore the hidden patterns that shape our lives. I am Kinga Szilágyi, facilitator and guide through the field where unseen truths rise to the surface. Together, we walk the invisible terrain of the family soul, where the wisdom that speaks is when the system reveals itself.
Thank you for joining our movement of translating the wisdom of systemic family constellations into a practical language that all of us can easily understand and, most importantly, implement in our daily lives. So when we sat down for episode 1, we made a commitment to you. Our mission was to be relevant, to inspire you to own your gift of belonging, and to guide you through the process of getting the most benefit of this work. We knew even then that belonging wasn't a luxury, it was a life force.
We also wanted to be truthful from the beginning. We clarified what we can and cannot promise. We cannot promise to fix your family, but we can promise to show you the truth of how you are connected to them. That honesty has been the bedrock of every session since.
Over the 100 episodes, we have moved from the theory of belonging to the bone-deep reality of it. We have seen that owning your gift means more than just showing up. It means being willing to look at the shadows we usually run from.
In the beginning, we were teaching the basics. Now we are exploring the word soul. This evolution mirrors the journey of our clients. They started by wanting to fix a small problem, and they end up reconciling with an entire lineage.
We've learned that the benefit of each episode isn't just a piece of advice. It's a systemic shift. When you hear a story that resonates, your own field begins to reorganize. You aren't just listening, you are participating in a global healing.
We have stayed true to our vision of being unique. Every client who has graced our table has been an individual universe, yet they have all proven that we are profoundly connected. You cannot have one without the other.
Our promise of truthfulness has been tested in the field. Sometimes the truth is heavy. Sometimes it reveals a cost of rejection that is hard to bear. But as we promised in episode 1, we have never looked away.
The field has taught us that the greatest benefit comes from adult responsibility. We move from being children who want our parents to change to adults who accept the life they gave us exactly as it came.
We've seen the transition from the mother's necklace of grief to the CEO's chair of personal authority. Each step has been a verification of our initial vision. We wanted to inspire you, and in turn, your healing has inspired us.
This milestone is not just about our voices. It is about your ears. It is about the co-editors who have sent us messages saying, I finally spoke to my father. Or I finally understand why I keep failing.
We are now operating in a space of mastery of the field. We recognize the subtle movements of the soul before they are even spoken. This is the fruit of 100 Sundays of dedicated witness.
The mission and vision have become a living, breathing architecture. We don't just talk about belonging, we facilitate it. We don't just talk about truth, we embody it on the table with every role and every representative.
We've seen how the cost of rejection dries up a person's ability to thrive. By holding the vision of ownership, we have helped people reclaim their currency. They no longer pay the price of exile. They enjoy the profit of home.
Every episode has been a building block. From the early definitions of systemic law to the complex entanglements of God and secrets, we have mapped the terrain of the human heart with clinical precision and spiritual empathy.
We have been your guardians. We promised to be truthful about the limits of the work, and those limits have become our greatest strengths. By not promising magic, we have allowed space for real, lasting transformation to occur.
As we look back at our first script, we see the seeds of everything we have become. The gift of belonging has blossomed into a forest of reconciliation that covers 100 generations. You are still listening to Younique Yet Connected. The theme for this milestone 100th episode, the word soul, 100 generations of healing. Remember to like, share and subscribe at www.youniqueyetconnected.com.
The staggering cost of rejection. In episode 98, we looked at a client who lived in a state of constant rejection. No matter how safe she felt, a secret would always emerge to push her out. We realized that this wasn't just bad luck, it was a systemic debt.
The cost of rejecting a family member or feeling rejected by them is always paid by the next generation. When we say, I don't belong to them, we are essentially cutting our own roots, and a tree without roots cannot bear fruit.
In the field, we saw that the secret didn't even belong to the client. It belonged to her grandfather and a completely different family system. She was paying for a rejection that happened decades before she was born.
This is the hidden moral ledger we have spoken about so often. Rejection is a form of exclusion, and the first law of the field is that everyone has an equal right to belong. When we exclude the bad one, we create a vacuum.
The client's rejection was coming from inside her. She was rejecting her past because it felt dirty or bad. She wanted to be good by being separate, but in the field, good is what is whole.
She asked God for permission to reject her family. This was a powerful moment in episode 98. She wanted a representative of absolute good to validate her exile. But God didn't give her permission to leave. He gave her the strength to stay.
The cost of rejection was visible in her children. Her son was looking for his grandfather. Her daughter was looking for her roots. But cutting herself off, she was starving her children of their own life force.
When we reject our parents, our children feel it as a missing piece in their own identity. They become proxies for the excluded ones. They start acting out the very traits we try to run away from.
We taught the client that you don't have to forgive or forget, but you must accept the truth. The truth is that life came through those bad people to her. If she shuts the door on the source, she shuts the door on the flow.
The relief she felt when she finally said, "I belong," was the sound of a 100-year-old debt being settled. The cost of rejection was finally replaced by the profit of presence.
We see this rejection dynamic in so many areas. People reject their poverty roots and then wonder why their businesses fail. People reject their masculine side and wonder why they have no discipline.
Rejection is the ultimate self-sabotage. It is a war against your own DNA. Over these 100 episodes, we have shown you that the only way to win this war is to surrender to the truth of your lineage.
We have looked at the costs in the business and realized it was just an excluded ancestor looking for a place at the table. Once we give them a sit, the business starts to move. The cost becomes an investment.
In the 100th episode, we recognize that the word soul is full of these rejected fragments. Our work is to help you bring them back. Every time you stop rejecting a part of yourself, you heal a part of the world.
The cost of rejection is loneliness, stagnation, and fear. The gift of belonging is strength, movement, and peace. We've been truthful about this since episode 1. You cannot have the strength without the source.
As we look at the table today, we see no more rejected doors. Every door has a place. Every story has a witness. The ledger is balanced.
You are still listening to Younique Yet Connected. The theme for this milestone 100th episode is The World Soul, 100 Generations of Healing. Join our movement and subscribe for updates on our socials at Younique Yet Connected. The architecture of the world soul. The world soul is a collective field of every family that has ever existed. It is the vast library of human experience. When we constellate one family, we are essentially browsing one shelf in that library.
Everything we have discussed, from the second child to the gilded cage, are universal archetypes. The Earth Soul recognizes the same laws in South Africa as it does in Hungary or the United States. The laws of belonging are absolute.
We have learned that the world soul seeks balance. If there is an injustice in one generation, the soul will try to balance it in the next. This is why we see repetitive patterns in our careers and our relationships.
Our mission has always been to help you understand this architecture. If you know the rules of the building, you can stop running into walls. You can start to own your gift because you know where it is kept.
We've explored the moral ledger of the world soul. We've seen that we are all carrying invisible trunks of books, the stories and burdens of those who came before. In episode 100, we finally learn how to put the trunks down.
The word soul is not a judge. It is a repository. It doesn't care if your grandfather was bad or good by human standards. It only cares if he is seen. Recognition is the currency of the soul.
When we're standing in the CEO chair of our own lives, we are actually occupying a position that the world soul has prepared for us. We are the adults that the system has been waiting for.
We have learned that the cost of rejection is a ripple that goes out into the word soul. But soul is the act of acceptance. When you heal, you make it slightly easier for everyone else in the field to heal too.
This is the benefit we promised you in episode 1. By doing your work, you are doing the world's work. You are contributing to a more connected and unique global consciousness.
The word soul also holds the ancestral wisdom. This is what the client in one of the episodes found when she merged her grandmother's lines. It is a resource that is available to all of us once we stop fighting our history.
We have seen that discipline is part of this architecture. Not the forced discipline of a school, but the inner chosen discipline of an adult. This is the structure that allows the life force to flow without being wasted.
The word soul loves order. It loves it when the big ones are big and the small ones are small. It loves it when the second child takes their place next to the first. Order is the safety on the table that we have provided for 100 episodes.
We have been truthful from the beginning. This work requires courage. It requires you to look at the absolute good and the absolute mess at the same time. The world soul is big enough to hold both.
As we celebrate this milestone, we realize that the field is expanding. People are waking up to their connections. They are realizing that their personal problems are often systemic solutions waiting to be decoded.
We are the sacred witnesses to this global shift. We have spent 100 Sundays documenting the return of the excluded and the restoration of the fathers. It has been an honor of our lives.
The architecture is solid. The mission is fulfilled. The vision is clear. We are ready to move into the next 100 generations with a heart full of acceptance and a table full of truth.
Reflection and the 100-generation blessing. We invite you to take a moment for this centennial reflection. This is for the world soul that lives within you.
The visual. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself standing in a vast open field. Behind you, stretch 100 generations of your ancestors. Hundred lines of fathers and mothers and all their children. A sea of people reaching back into the beginning of time. The recognition. Look at this vast line. Remember our promise from episode 1 to help you own your gift of belonging. Look at all these people and realize I belong here. You are the combination of all their stories. The inquiry. Ask yourself, what is the cost of rejection I am finally ready to stop paying? What part of my family, even the bad parts, am I ready to bring home? The blessing. Imagine turning around to face them. Say to them, I take the life you gave me. I accept the gift of belonging. I will be truthful with myself from this day forward. I am the one who lives now.
Key lesson and integration. By the end of the session and by the end of these 100 episodes, we hope you see that the guilty parent or the secret ancestor is no longer defined solely by their struggle. They are simply human beings who manage to pass on the most essential thing, life.
We understood that we don't heal the pain by rejecting the source. We heal the pain by reclaiming the gift that came through that source. Rejection is expensive. Acceptance is a profit that lasts forever.
We learn that the greatest act of self-love is the act of integration. You cannot love 50% of yourself. You must claim the full 100%, the parts you are proud of and the parts you used to hide behind the table.
Honor the pain by acknowledging it, and then honor yourself by receiving the gift you have spent a lifetime turning away from. You are the CEO of a legacy that has been thousands of years in the making.
So tonight, as you settle into your own rhythm, maybe ask yourself these deep, gentle questions. Where in my life am I still blindly rejecting a necessary strength because it came through a source I judge? And what relief awaits when I finally choose to see the unseen gift?
If this theme resonated, if you feel that subtle ache of being disconnected from a part of your own strengths, perhaps it's time to find that shadowed mirror and reclaim your whole self.
Join our Younique Yet Connected community, because sometimes the greatest act of connection isn't just with others, but with the parts of ourselves we left behind.
Thank you for your contribution in having us be chosen as a top 10 South Africa family podcast by FeedSpot. We are also thrilled to be ranked among the best 30 family therapy and best 10 family secrets podcasts by a Million Podcast. To celebrate our growing community, join our monthly virtual connection circle every first Tuesday evening of the month. To receive your link, subscribe on our website www.youniqueyetconnected.com or check for updates on our socials at Younique Yet Connected.
In the next episode, we'll still share with you how the field reveals the roots, the repetition, and the release.
And along the way, we will guide you in understanding how this work can support your own healing, because the field doesn't just know my story, it knows yours too.
So take a deep breath in and open your heart and join us as we share with you what the field knows.
Because sometimes what you are searching for isn't outside of you. It is waiting quietly in the field for you to remember.
A big thank you to you for listening to our 100th episode, and to Nick Moss from That Guy Productions for making us sound fabulous and on point for every single one of them.
For episode 101, tune in on the 16th of August 2026 from 10 a.m. South African Standard Time. Links and updates, stay tuned to our Facebook and Instagram pages at Younique Yet Connected, Younique spelled YOUNIQUE.
Stay unique, stay connected, and remember you are one of a kind, and we can only create a really meaningful podcast together. Siyabulela, Kosonom, Bayadanki.
Thank you. Siyabulela, Kusunum, Bayadanki. Thank you.